the schedule had been, so far, a disaster. The call had come to her mobile the evening before from Silvio, the youngest of her 3 brothers. He had told her of a death notice in that day's Cronaca di Napoli, detailing the passing of Mariano Rossetti from Nola, the funeral to be held the next day. It was 8 months since Immacolata had arrived in London with Vincenzo, her eldest brother. They had driven all the way north to Genova, then taken a flight to Prague, driven across Germany to Hamburg, and flown into the British capital. He had used doctored papers, but her passport had been in her own name. The day she had met Eddie, London had been as hot as Naples. A deluge had drenched them, and they had kissed, then gone to his single room to take off the sodden clothes. And she had lost the link to her city, with the roasting heat, the stench of the streets. All were with her now, as she ran on the dusty verge towards the cemetery entrance. Her heel broke. She had left the London apartment early, while Vincenzo still slept, but had taken the precaution of wearing clothes for a language class. She had changed in the toilet of the delayed flight, and had looked the part of a mourner when the aircraft had dropped down to the tarmac at Capodichino. She hopped and limped to the cemetery gate, sensing the softness of baked dust against her left foot, then wincing pain, which meant a glass shard or a sliver of metal. At the gate, 3 or 4 families were with the flower saleswoman. She barged in front of them, dropped a €50 note on the table, took a bouquet of white roses and greenery from a bucket, and kept moving. She didn't know where to go. She tried twice, asking, where was the burial chapel of the Rossetti family? A man shrugged. A woman grimaced. She ran up the steps of the reception, noticing how acute now was the pain in her stockinged foot, saw a smear of blood behind her, and demanded an answer from an official who sat at a desk and sipped rank-smelling coffee. He, too, showed no interest. She crossed an open space where the sun shimmered on white stone grave markers and went towards the far wall, using the pathways between the stones. She approached a small group, their backs to her. She saw 2 ladders above the shoulders of the mourners. An elongated bundle, wrapped in white sheeting, was lifted, and 2 men climbed the higher steps of the ladders and took its weight. The Rossetti family vault was on the 4th level. The noisy weeping was over. The ladders were carried discreetly to the side, and the mourners started to shuffle away. They came towards Immacolata. She had met Maria and Luigi Rossetti at the college where she and Mariana had studied. It would be hard for her to step aside without standing on a grave. Immacolata knew that she was seen and recognized, and the greeting came first from Luigi. He looked into her eyes, unwavering, and the word came silently, so that his wife would not hear it cross his lips, but Immacolata would read it. He called her a whore. Then the mother said, soft and controlled, that a whore should display herself and feel no shame because she cared for nothing but money. Someone kicked her shin. She didn't know whether it was the father or the mother. She went down on her knees and saw the bouquet crumpled beneath her. The stems snapped. The father snarled, "You are a whore. You took the life of our beloved child. We were told at the hospital how she contracted leukemia. You and your family are responsible. We know of the triangle of death. We've read about it. And the criminality of the Camorra in our town. They are paid to dispose of chemical waste and dump it in fields, orchards, and streams. That is what the Camorra, those foul gangsters, do." The mother said, finally, "There's evil in your blood, but I doubt you're capable of self-disgust or shame. Your presence here is an intrusion. Go." At the gate, by the statue of Angela Bella, Immacolata dumped the flowers in a bin and hobbled out to look for Silvio. She felt numb and shivered. She looked at them from the door, but they seemed not to have heard her come in. Vincenzo and 3 friends were playing cards. She watched them through a fog of cigarette smoke and waited for their reaction so that she could resurrect the lie and embellish it. Vincenzo was the heir apparent to their father. He was 31, a target for the detective.